Hi everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Oh my god, you guys, we are doing yet another installment of Iconic Blondes! Yes! Oh my gosh, and in today's episode of Iconic Blondes, we will be tackling none other than the icon, the moment, the only Beyonce. Yes, we are doing Beyonce today for Iconic Blondes. Now, Beyonce has had many a memorable hairstyle, but I'm going to pinpoint in history her canon, if I may. My favorite Beyonce hairstyle would have to be that high ponytail she wore for the Met Gala. Oh, where it's like snatched onto her head and it's like high up like that and it's so cute. And she's got on this like long see-through dress with all the jewels. Ooh. So good. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna get my mannequin head here and we'll get started with Beyonce. Welcome back. Yes, we have our wig head all here. We're gonna be working today on a new wig in my Jaymes Mansfield beauty line. This is the Femme Fatale in Sunshine Day. She is a honey blonde, which is why I picked this color today. So, first things first, I'm gonna do a little bit of a perma-tease to the front because it's all gonna get pulled up. But as you all know, with drag hairstyles, you can't just do it flat back to the head like that. Otherwise, your head's gonna look like that big with like a hairstyle sticking out. I look like a Q-tip, okay? Like I'm not doing that. So I'm just gonna start doing a little bit of a perma-tease to the hairline. Beyonce. Houston's own Beyonce. Now, Beyonce has been in the industry ever since she was a little girl. Like, she was working that circuit, like the Star Search circuit, way back in the day. Her parents wanted her to be a star, and she too, like, she openly admits to it, like, there's no other career she wanted to be a star. And she's achieved that. It all started off with her auditioning for Star Search with the girl group Girls Time, which was an assortment of, like, girls in her neighborhood and friends that they basically acquired for, like, all over. Like, they scouted and had auditions to, like, create this monster girl group that was gonna be like nothing else that was out there at that time. Like, Beyonce's father had this vision. And like, you can tell, like, he wanted his daughter to be a success because he just saw it. And like, when you look at old footage of her, you could tell, like, she was the hungriest of everyone there. Like, she was going to be a star. They made it all the way to Star Search and got really, really close to winning, but lost. And so much so that when this footage was like reused by Beyonce, the actual like sample from Star Search was included, like the audio of them losing. And people went so far out to like attack the group that won like years after the fact. Whereas like even the group was like, look, we thought they were good too. I'm sorry we won. It worked out for the best. You know, that is the power of the beehive. Now, Beyonce and girl groups go hand in hand. As you may know, she was part of the most successful girl group of all time, Destiny's Child, which was formed with remnants from Girls Time. Like, some girls fell off and some girls were added, and they created Destiny's Child as they were all teenagers and just touring all throughout the country, like auditioning for different record labels until one eventually took a chance on them and signed them. When they were signed and they started making music, like when you saw the first couple of videos, you knew. Like, you just knew these girls were gonna be huge, and they were. Like, I remember my first inkling of seeing Beyonce was in Bills, Bills, Bills. That was a monster record. And just like a music video that was like unlike anything you'd ever seen. Like, you never seen like these glamorous, gorgeous girls like this. And it's like this really fun, campy, like hair salon setting. And I just remember like Beyonce in like the pink outfit and just like the attitude from all the girls, like it was infectious. And like they had super, super unique outfits on because they were designed by Beyonce's own mom. Like Tina Knowles was making all their outfits. So she was like inspired to make like club wear that was unlike anything you could see. Like, it was couture that the girls were wearing, like fully styled to make sure they had like a unique look that nobody else had. Like, they thought from head to toe Beyonce's package. Like, especially Destiny's Child, like Tina and Matthew were hell bent on making a girl group unlike anyone else, like uncomparable to anyone. So like that way when you saw them, it was like, oh no, that's Destiny's Child. Well, as time progressed, Beyonce would eventually embark on a solo career, but like it didn't happen like right away. Like, I remember she like did a couple movies first. Like, she was in Austin Powers, the third one, Goldmember. Like, that was her like first like foray in the movies. And I remember her being good in it. Like, she wasn't bad. She doesn't make very many movies, I've noticed. Like, she's only been in like a handful of films. That's one of those things I kind of wish she would make more movies. Not that she needs to become a bigger star, but like essentially like you just want more of her everywhere, you know? But that's her impact. Like, she's that kind of star where like people are hungry for anything that she does. Like, as far as this series goes, she's probably like arguably the most iconic blonde of the series. Like, her impact is untouched. You know, I remember her in Goldmember as Foxy Cleopatra, which is like a play on the 70s blaxploitation films like Foxy Brown and Cleopatra Jones. They combined them both. For those of you who weren't in the know, made famous by Tamara Dobson and Pam Grier. Our first introduction to like Beyonce, the solo star. It was without Destiny's Child, And she even released a single to partner along with the Austin Powers movie called Work It Out, which was like also them teasing the idea of a Beyonce solo song. It didn't make quite the splash that they had thought, because they were still trying to figure out like what exactly her sound was going to be. And like Work It Out was like a very 1970s funk inspired song. Within a few years' time, we would get the Beyonce solo career, and the world was not ready. Now I'll get more into that, but I'm gonna permatease the rest of this and I'll be right back. I am back. I permateased the whole thing, and now it's time to start doing our rooted hairline in the back. Now, I don't think I've ever done this for like the back part of a wig before, so this is brand new information for you folks. Well, not brand new, but it's essentially the same thing where we just tack down the hair with teasing, then pull some back so that you can create a hairline. So once we start cutting it and spraying it, it looks like the hair is growing out of the head. A rooted hairline in the back is a nice idea to do, especially for you updo girls. If it's gonna show, it goes. That's how it is in show business, especially in pageants. If you do that, they used to really score you bad if you had like a really hard wig line in the back. I have a dedicated video that shows you how to do it. I'll link it down below. It's very informative. I feel like there are moments in time where we all kind of remember where we were because they were that impactful in our lives. I remember where I was when Crazy in Love debuted. I remember I was staying home from school because, well, I wasn't staying home. I faked sick, so I could stay home because I just hated school that much. I think it was like 5th grade, 5th or 6th grade. And I remember staying home from school and watching it. And it was on 106 in Park that debuted there. I saw its debut there, and girl, the second that beat hit and you saw her like walking and strutting, you know you're witnessing history right there, okay? It's like when they talk about Whitney Houston singing I Will Always Love You. It's one of those things like, you know, in music history, like it's never gonna be the same after this. Like we saw Beyonce make her solo debut, and music was changed forever. Come on now, like who has that impact? Like that da-da-da-da-da-da, it hit and you're like, ooh, like it knocked you out of the chair. And I remember the dancing, I remember the costumes, like all of it. The Jay-Z feature, I didn't really quite live for the Jay-Z feature, but he was there also, but Beyonce, she debuted. And like, I remember after that, it was just like one after the other, the hits that kept coming. I remember there was the Bonnie and Clyde, 03 Bonnie and Clyde, and she had like high-heeled Timberland boots, which I was obsessed with and wondering like, they make those? That's fabulous. I want high-heeled Timberland boots. Like the fashion moments she gave us. Only a few years into her solo career, she made another film appearance in the iconic Dreamgirls. And they like to act like it was typecasting. They cast her in Dina Jones, which was loosely based on Diana Ross and the Supremes. And given a lot of the drama and like stories that were thrown around about Destiny's Child and how it all went down there, it was like, whoa. Like, I love that she did this because it, you know, that's always what they say in Hollywood to do. If you want, you know, people to stop talking about you a certain way, make fun of it. And this is sort of her way of parodying that, you know? She's like, okay, you compare me to Diana Ross and how the Supremes went. Well, I'll play Diana Ross in a movie. Like, what a flex. And it works so well because, like, she got great reviews. And, like, Dreamgirls is by far probably one of the best films she's appeared in. And honestly, one of the best that really showcased her and her talents and really, like, let her stretch her, like, dramatic muscles. Dreamgirls was a moment. And we don't really get very moments like that where it's just, like, the excitement was real. So, like, a lot of the press around that time was very negative surrounding her. And like they were making up rumors about her fighting with her cast and stuff, which is like couldn't be further from the truth. Like that's the kind of impact she had because you know you're the when even the critics are threatened by you. They don't know what to think. All right, now I'm basically just going to smooth this out and tie a ponytail. But y'all already know how I tie a ponytail, so I'm gonna keep smoothing it and I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Now I put it all up in a ponytail and I used 3 hair ties to get a little more height to it so it stands up more straight on its own. Now it's sort of like doing a Barbie ponytail where we pull a little section of hair and we're gonna wrap around. So let me just pull some from the back that won't be seen. I believe this is from like the 2015 Met Gala. And I just love this look because like the hair is a bit on the simple side, but it's also just like such a statement too. It's such a beautiful gown that she's wearing. He's like, this is my hair and it is gorgeous and you just got to get into it. I'll pin it better when I'm done. But I just want it out of the way so I could start detangling the ponytail because that is like one of the real selling points of this. But I'm using a product. I'm using Jon Renau Detangler. It's for synthetic hair. I'm gonna spray it through the hair to tangle it. I got this stuff on a whim in a wig shop here in Vegas, and I actually ended up really liking it. It's a bit on the expensive side though, not gonna lie. For a synthetic hair product, I'm like, oof, okay, that's a bit steep, but okay. But I needed it, so here we are. All right, we're just going through and see how cool that is. Like, synthetic detanglers are amazing. Like it's detangling it so well. I'm not trying to take out too much of the teasing. I'm just kind of like brushing the surface because the hair still has to have some body to it in order to like give that effect. Cause it's sort of giving like a cheerleader, like, you know, up ponytail like that. Cause the bottom, we want those amazing curls to show. Like, as we all know, like Beyonce of today, like she's continued to stay iconic. And like, she's done stunts in the past that like only she could get away with doing, like dropping an album with no kind of like warning or anything, and it just sells out. Like, so, like she's incredible. Like from her Super Bowl performance, which like I have watched on repeat multiple times, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like watching stuff and researching for this video, I was like surprised. Like, it turns out I'm a bigger Beyonce fan than I actually knew. Like, a lot of stuff I watched, like her Driven and all this stuff, and like little documentaries that were made about her. And like, I was surprised. Like, I watch that stuff all the time. Like, I remember on VH1, I used to watch her Driven a lot whenever it came on. I was even that person. It's probably something I shouldn't admit to because it's kind of rude. But like, I used to record everyone's Driven so I could rewatch them on my own time. Like, I had Destiny's Child, Beyonce, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Jessica Simpson, even Paula Abdul's Driven. Like, I've watched everyone's because I was just fascinated by like the celebrity story. And especially with like the teen stars of my time, they all had similar stories, but wildly different paths. Like Beyonce is one of the few of that crop that never went the Disney route. Like she was never a Mickey Mouse Club or anything like that. Her parents were like, oh, no. If anyone's gonna be calling the shots, it's gonna be us. Like, this is our family. All right, now we're gonna start breaking a bit off so that we can create little separate ringlets, because that's sort of how it looks. Like really beautiful little ringlets, but we're gonna keep some of the teasing there too so it has its shape. Because even looking at her ponytail, you can tell there's some teasing in there to give it body. Like what I also love about Beyonce is like, she's not afraid of a reference. Like she will reference all sorts of stuff. Like in some of her music videos, she's referenced Betty Page to like old school 70s campy, like exploitation movies, like all sorts of stuff. Like nothing is like off the limits for her. It means expressing herself through her art. Anytime there's an opportunity for a visual, she's gonna take it. I think my favorites has to be Get Me Bodied, where she remakes the whole like sequence from Sweet Charity. You know, the with the ponytail and everything. It was like the dancing was never as good as hers in Sweet Charities. Like Beyonce, her dancing is untouched. Like no one can perform like her. You guys remember that one like meme that was going around like back in the day, like Beyonce always on beat? Where like they do any like song and just put her and she danced to it and she was always on the beat. Like from rap songs to like the Teletubbies, she was always on beat. And see, this is why I let the volume in, because you need that lift in order to get the full effect. And like hers kind of sits to the side like that. So I might put like a little pin right here just to keep it there for the effect of the video. But we're there. Just hairspray the curls. I think we have it. That is the look. So I'm going to get changed and I'll be right back with the final result. Welcome back. This is the final result. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of obsessed. Like, it is so... Ooh, it's so different from what I normally do. And here's the back of the wig. I did the nape, like a hairline to it. I think it came out pretty good. Like I don't usually do like the hairline in the back of the wig because, well, most of the time I have like a long fall, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's fun. And also, it's like a different method of doing ponytails from like my usual French braid. Like this is another classic way of doing an updo, especially if it's gonna be seen. So I'm glad I could give you a little lesson in classic drag. And also like this hair, I'm not used to wearing anything like this. Like it's so modern compared to what I'm normally wearing. Like I'm usually in like finger waves or something, but it's a refreshing change of pace. I probably won't make it a regular thing, but you know what? It's fun to like dibble and dabble in like what's modern sometimes. But no, I love this hair and I love Beyonce and I'm glad I got to like bring it to life in a drag form. Now I have to take a moment, a Venmo moment where I thank everyone who's tipped me on Venmo. I would like to thank Sergio, Patrick, Sergio again, and Patrick again. Okay, it's been a while since I've done Venmos, okay? But it's fine, it's fine. I also have a cash appetizer from Unidentified Femme Object. Thank you. And Sean, thank you so much for the cash appetizers. Ooh. And I also have a YouTube super thanks from Akemi1376. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you all so much for the tips on Venmo, Cash App, and the YouTube super thanks. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye. Now hit the outro. here, watch me talk about Gremlins, or watch me talk about Friday the 13th while doing my makeup. Come on, click it, you know you want to. If you don't click it, you will never be on beat. So click it!